Shortly before Christmas 2010, there was a man in a small village working in a small town who showed the world what democracy really means. He worked hard all of his life against the odds. He didn't have the right education, he didn't know the right people, and when he went into market to work to ply his trade, he was treated poorly by the officers, by the policemen, by people who told him that he needed a license to work there when in actual fact he didn't. His story ended with him burning alive in the middle of a busy street in Tunisia. Of course, his name was Mohamed Bouazizi. But that sense of lacking of value, that sense of disillusionment, that sense of not being included within the state he lived in, within the state that he was supposed to belong to, that's a feeling that all of us share. And we've seen it throughout the last several years, throughout the last several decades even. The Occupy protests came to epitomise this sense of lacking value, of not being included. We all feel some sort of humiliation inside at the brunt of the state. 2011 was the year of the protester. And democracy is something that all people around the world are calling for, whether or not you live in a state that is called democratic. Everyone wants change. 95% of the people around the world, according to studies done in the last few years, want democracy. So it's clear what we need is democratic reform. We need to start thinking differently, start acting differently. Because if you ask someone on the street what democracy means to them, too often, far too often, it means nothing or very little. It means the right to vote and nothing beyond it. And if it only means the right to vote, then the right to vote means little. It's inconsequential to people's everyday lives. It doesn't make a difference. If you think about how many people gave their lives, not only in the UK, in Europe, in the wars of the 20th century, but around the world, and still today, people are giving their lives for democracy. Something that we don't value anymore because it doesn't value us anymore. Because we don't feel like we're included, we don't feel like when we vote it makes a difference, and a lot of that feeling is correct. It doesn't make a difference in a lot of the time. We have a system where we have safe seats. We have a system where councillors can't do anything. We have a system where the people we elect to represent us are told what to do by party whips. People who've probably never been to our constituency. And so we feel disenfranchised. We feel unempowered, not included. Democratic reform is something that's aiming to change this, to change the way we look at politics and to change the things that we can actually do together. What I want to do today is explain my own personal opinion as the party founder about why the Democratic Reform Party exists, what it is that we're out to do. And you'll have to forgive me if I have to refer to my notes during this because I didn't have time to remember my speech, to be honest. So I want to start off by making a comparison between a state and a corporation. Because 2011 was the year of the protester, 2011 was the year we set up. And what many protests have been about is not only politics, but also business, or also corporations, and the amount of power held by the wealthy 1%. A corporation is a business, and it's owned by investors usually, and these investors elect managers to do work on their behalf. So